Thanks so much for being here. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy
Are
New
you
Year.
at all concerned about the inappropriate way these documents were handled from 2016 until they told the Justice Department and the National Archives about it last December, and also who might have had access to them?
Jake, we don't expect our leaders to be perfect. We do expect our leaders to have character and integrity. Obviously, people made mistakes. I mean, documents should not be in a private residence or outside the agencies. But the point is that the president is showing character. He is cooperating fully. He is not attacking the Justice Department. He is respecting the independence of the process. And I think people will look at this and say, look, this is why we elected him.
The White House did not disclose this for months. And to this day, all that we officially know about the documents is what Biden's lawyers have told us. There hasn't been some sort of impartial or law enforcement source that has come and given us an explanation. You saw Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, not answering questions today. What grade would you give them on how they have handled this?
I think they're fully cooperating. Look, I think eventually we need all the answers out. But right now, you have a special counsel. You have an investigation. The main thing is that they need to be cooperating with them. And who knows what the Justice Department has said. They may not want people talking about it publicly until the investigation is going on. But at some point, I do think that the president and his team are going to have to answer all the questions. My guess is the president probably wants to get all the facts before coming and giving the answers.
He had some questions for Trump on that 60 Minutes clip from a few months ago, where he said he was worried. He doesn't understand how anybody could do something so irresponsible. He's worried about sources and methods being compromised. Obviously, the two situations are somewhat different, but in both of them, you have information that is not supposed to be out there.
Jay, one of the things we could do is be constructive about this. You know, as a member of Congress, when I go see classified information, I can never take it out of the SCIF. I can't bring it to my house or to my office. Why can't we have that kind of a protocol in the executive branch? I mean, I don't see why these documents should ever be leaving the White House executive branch.
It's the end of Speaker Kevin McCarthy's first full week on the job, and this week the Republican majority took its first steps into launching its long list of investigations, including Hunter Biden's business dealings, the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic, President Biden's withdrawal of Afghanistan, U.S. troops, DHS Secretary Mayorkas' handling of the border crisis. Now, of course, we have added to this Biden's handling of classified documents. Do the Democrats have a strategy for dealing with all this? And some of them that might be constructive, such as the origins of COVID or the withdrawal from Afghanistan, might Democrats cooperate?
Jake, I know you get outside the Beltway. Do real people ever talk about this stuff? They talk to me about
Afghanistan and COVID, sure.
Here's what I hear in my district. The price of eggs, inflation. Are we going to have a recession? What are we doing to improve the economy? Those are the issues. And that's what the Republicans campaigned on. They want the American Congress to work to solve problems. They don't want endless investigations. Do they want accountability in Afghanistan? Sure. I'm not saying don't have accountability. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. Fine. But don't make that the central focus of what you're trying to do.
McCarthy made a lot of key concessions to the rebels to get the gavel. One of them was agreeing that just one member, regardless of party, could force a vote to vacate the speaker. He also did a lot to liberalize the process, to make it easier for any member of Congress to introduce amendments, to introduce legislation. This is stuff that you might like as a progressive, right? I mean, like, I could imagine people who are progressives who have kind of felt constrained by Pelosi's leadership or whoever before that, Tom Foley, before you were born, thinking this is a great opportunity, like, I mean, do you see a silver lining here, I guess is my point.
Well, let me be fair-minded. There are certain reforms that are good. The fact that a bill has to be introduced 72 hours before. The fact that you have an open rule, which means any member can offer an amendment. That's a good thing. The fact that it does give some rank-and-file members more of a say. But here's my problem. In doing all of this, Kevin McCarthy made a commitment to some of the far right in his caucus that he was going to hold this country up and not increase the debt ceiling, not pay the debt that we already owe, not about future spending. And that's what I find so concerning. It's not the reforms. Those reforms are fine.
Well, what he agreed to, I think, is some sort of countervailing spending cuts when to accompany any vote to raise the debt ceiling. I mean, just as a member of Congress, the U.S. government spends much more money than we take in. This has been a problem for decades. I'm not blaming it on you, but this is a problem. We can't keep on doing this as a country forever because, I mean, the amount of money that our country spends just on paying the interest on the debt, that's money that could be spent feeding kids.
We have a $32 trillion debt. I'm acknowledge that's a problem. But, Jay, let me put it simply. You've got a credit card bill that's due for past debt you've accumulated. You may, as a family, decide, okay, let's think about our future spending. Are you going to say, no, we're just going to default on the credit card debt? No, you pay the debt. And the United States government certainly should pay the debt. If you want to have a conversation afterwards on how we cut spending, and I can say we ought to cut defense spending, and we can have that debate. But don't hold the prestige of this country hostage on debt ceiling. We pay our debts. We're the United States of America.
I hear you. I guess their point is nobody pays attention to the need to rein in spending or at least have the balance sheets line up unless they're forced to. But I get you don't agree with